Good morning, kindergartners. Mrs. Grace here. Today I'm going to be reading a book with you called Chickens Aren't the Only Ones. This week we've been learning a lot about oviparous animals, and this book is going to give us so much good information about different oviparous animals. So today while we're reading, we're going to do a really important job. We're going to think about what the author is trying to tell us, why the author wrote this book. So authors have a purpose behind writing a book, whether they're telling a story for fun or they're giving us information. So today, while we're reading Chickens Aren't the Only Ones, we're going to stop and we're going to think about what does the author want us to know. After we're done reading this book, you have a prompt for you. You have a prompt to do that your parents can find in our shared schedule, and you can print it out, or you may have picked it up in your packet. But it says, why do you think the author wrote this book, and what do you think she wanted us to know? So while we practice this during our reading, it'll make it easy for you to go ahead and do this activity when we're finished. All right, here we go. Chickens Aren't the Only Ones by Ruth Heller. And it says, a book about animals that lay eggs. So that title already tells me some information about what the author wants me to know. And that's about animals that lay eggs. Oops, skipped ahead. Oh dear, here we go. Chickens lay the eggs you buy. My goodness, I'm having a hard time with the pages today. The eggs you boil or fry. Or dye. I bet some of you have done this last week, or we'll be doing it soon for Easter. Or leave alone so you can see what grew inside naturally. So if we don't do anything to that egg, we will get a little baby chick. So I'm going to stop and think right now. The author is already telling me lots of information. It's telling me that chickens lay eggs, so I got that information. And the author is also telling me the different ways that we use eggs. We might boil them or fry them, we might dye them, or we might let them grow into chicks. Chickens aren't the only ones. Ooh, big peacock. And I'm seeing the eggs here, so this is telling me some more information that peacocks also lay eggs. Every bird, wild or tame, does the same. The really interesting thing on these couple pages, these last two pages, is that the author didn't use a lot of words, but they used their pictures to give us some more information. And when we're reading books that have pictures, it's really important for us to pay attention to those pictures or illustrations because they also give us information. So the author here is showing us that there are lots of different birds that lay eggs. Lots of different birds. The ostrich lays the largest egg, the hummingbird the smallest. Ooh, look at all of those eggs. And look at this egg here. This is the big ostrich egg. And then down here, this tiny little egg, that is the hummingbird egg. So the author is telling us and showing us that eggs come in different sizes and different colors. Pretty cool. Chickens aren't the only ones. Most snakes lay eggs, and lizards too, and crocodiles and turtles do. Ooh, will you stop and tell someone around you, or tell me through the screen, what else is the author trying to tell us on this page? We've learned a lot about chickens and birds that lay eggs. Well, what did we just learn on these two pages? Yeah! So snakes, lizards, crocodiles, turtles, all of those things also lay eggs. And I like how it always starts out with chickens aren't the only ones. So the author is telling us too that people probably always think of chickens laying eggs, but there's lots of animals that lay eggs. And dinosaurs who are extinct but they were reptiles too. Look down there, one hatching. Touch your nose if you knew that dinosaurs laid eggs. Or touch your head for new thinking if that is new and you didn't know that dinosaurs laid eggs. Oh, look at all of our friends that knew and all of our friends that had new learning. That's exciting. Frogs and toads and salamanders lay eggs, and when they hatch, they're tadpoles who grow legs and climb a lily pad just like their mom and dad. Many of you probably remember we were learning and talking about frogs before we left on our break, and we talked about the life cycle of a frog, and hopefully maybe if you look closely you can remember all of those stages of the life cycle of a frog. They don't have claws or scaly skin. They are called amphibians. Ooh, fish eggs float up to the surface or sink to the bottom of the ocean floor. Okay, what is the author telling us? Yeah, they're telling us that fish also lay eggs. So the author is taking us through lots of different animals that lay eggs. They're continuing to build that knowledge for us. This mother seahorse lays her eggs into the father's pouch. He keeps them until they hatch and then he's through. I think that's nice of him, don't you? These fathers too are helping out by guarding eggs protected by that foamy mass that's floating by, and they won't leave until they're sure that all the eggs have hatched. Here the author is doing something a little bit different. Besides just telling us about some other animals that lay eggs, they're telling us something else. Will you think inside your head? Maybe whisper and tell someone next to you. What is the author teaching us on this page? Yeah, the author is teaching us that these animals help out with the eggs in special ways. The dads help out taking care of the eggs. So that's something new and different that the rest of the book has not talked about yet. These don't look like eggs to me, but they were laid in the sea. This one by a shark. And this one by a ray is a mermaid's purse, they say. Wow, boys and girls, this page is really neat because if we were to look at this, we probably wouldn't think that those are eggs, right? All of the eggs that we've seen so far have been round or kind of that oval shape, right? These are what we traditionally see as eggs. So the author now is giving us even more information that sometimes eggs don't look like eggs. But that these ones, these sharks and these rays also lay eggs. Pretty cool. The octopus is said to shed 100,000 eggs and then to hang them up in strings attached to rocks or caves. So look at this. Just like our last page, these eggs look a lot different. And look how many eggs. Oh my goodness. The moon snail's eggs are mixed with sand to form this collar-looking band. Again, here's another different looking egg. So hopefully you're getting some new thinking as this author is teaching us there's a lot more to eggs than just chicken eggs, right? There's a lot of different ways that eggs are laid, eggs are taken care of, eggs look, who helps take care of the eggs. Pretty cool. Spiders wrap their eggs in sacks, and snails, you know, are very slow, but they lay eggs that hatch and grow. And so do, oh my goodness, look at all these. Here's one of those pages where the author is giving us so much information through the pictures. Insects who have 6 legs and lay many different kinds of eggs. This one will hatch into a hungry caterpillar who will grow and grow and grow and then climb up a stem and change into this, a chrysalis, and change again one summer morn. That's how. Ooh, I bet you might be telling me what's going to happen on the next page. What happens to a caterpillar after it turns into a chrysalis? Turns into a butterfly. A butterfly is born. Wow, so sometimes we have eggs that hatch into one thing and then they turn into something else. Pretty amazing. Animals with fur or hair who nurse their young and don't lay eggs are known as mammals or mammalia, the spiny anteater. But these are two exceptions, and they both live in Australia, the duck-billed platypus. So these two are mammals, but they lay eggs. That's out of ordinary for a mammal. Mammals don't usually lay eggs, but these two special ones do. Chickens aren't the only ones. There's no more to discuss. Everyone who lays an egg is oviparous. Hopefully you've been practicing your poem that we shared on a video earlier this week. It's a pretty fun one to sing, oviparous. Last page here. Animals who don't lay eggs have babies born alive and well, but that's another tale to tell. So here's an example of a kitty, and the kitties have live babies. They don't lay eggs. Okay, and that's a whole nother story, it's saying. So we read and learned about lots of different oviparous animals. Okay, in this text, chickens aren't the only ones. All right, so your job now is, if your parents have printed this for you, or you can always pause this and take a look at the question and write it on your own paper. But it says, why do you think the author wrote this book? So I want you to think back to all the times we stopped and talked about what the author was telling us, and maybe why would they want to do that? What was their reason behind that? And what do you think she wanted us to know? So again, thinking about what is the author trying to teach us, okay? So you have some lines down here to do your writing. You have a picture that can go along with your writing. Think back really quickly. Be thinking about your answer as I do a quick picture walk for you to just be reminded of what we read. So we started off with those chickens laying eggs. They showed us lots of different ways that we use chicken eggs, whether we eat them or dye them. And then we saw some other birds that lay eggs. We kept going. Oh, this page was cool. It had all sorts of different eggs. So the author was telling us about and showing us lots of different eggs. Then we started to get into some other animals that laid eggs. Oh, and some animals that were from long ago that laid eggs. Oh, they kept going. So thinking about all the different things that lay eggs. Refreshing our brain. Oh, and then we had some special helpers. And then we had some kind of funny looking eggs. We wouldn't really know that they were eggs, so this taught us some good new information. Some more, a lot of eggs, some different shaped eggs. Oh, lots of insects and how they lay eggs and how they change into other things. Man, the author sure taught us a lot in this book. A couple mammals that lay eggs. Man, this author taught us so many things about oviparous animals. So I look forward to seeing what you write about and seeing what you think the author was trying to teach us and tell us. All right. Happy writing.